Bloomington has the reputation for offering better services for unhoused people than other cities in the region. But Mayor Carrie Thomson says the city is drowning in demand. As Ethan Sandwise reports, the city and local nonprofits disagree on the best approach for accommodating out-of-town homelessness.
Monday was a quiet day in Seminary Park. Normally, this grassy block near downtown Bloomington is abuzz with homeless activity, but it's been largely empty since Bloomington police arrested 8 last week on drug dealing and possession charges. Thomson ran for office on a platform to expand housing. At a press conference days after the arrests, she said Bloomington is struggling with new arrivals from places with fewer services.
Today, individuals are being brought to Bloomington by other jurisdictions. Both IU Health and Wheeler, among others, are experiencing influx that they're unable to deal with.
A year ago, the city worked with local shelters and housing groups to create a housing action plan. At the time, those nonprofits said they would stop admitting people from outside the region to emergency overnight shelters. But Heading Home is ending that requirement, explaining that it can't practically reunify all of the out-of-towners with the communities they came from.
At this point, we don't have the capacity to do that. And so the fear is that if we make a residency requirement and say, you can't stay here, then that person may well just become unsheltered.
Thomson disagrees.
Our community is not serving anyone well if we are not able to get our heads above water in order to truly end the cycle of homelessness for the residents who are from our HUD district.
In June, Heading Home counted 471 people in Morgan, Monroe, and Lawrence counties living on the street and in emergency shelters. An equal number of people entered the system to those who either left or found housing.
We've really been working hard to kind of get a grasp on what's going on and then try to really look at proactive steps for what we can do going forward. Because obviously what we've been doing in the past hasn't been working.
Giffen is Bloomington's first ever homeless response coordinator, a position created by Thomson to help meet her ambitious goal of virtual zero homelessness. He's been on the job 3 months. America's homeless crisis stems from intersecting problems in housing, healthcare, and addiction treatment. Bloomington provides better access to these services than other towns, with facilities like IU Health Bloomington Hospital and Centerstone's Stride Center. But Giffen says its successes have come with a catch. According to Heading Home's most recent survey, almost 40% of Monroe County's unhoused have lived here under 2 years. More than a third were homeless when they arrived.
We've especially seen, just in the past few months, a lot of other jurisdictions kind of cracking down more on street homelessness, and so kind of making it an uncomfortable place to be in those jurisdictions.
Jurisdictions taking the cracking down approach have been given a freer hand since President Donald Trump's executive order, making it easier to institutionalize homeless people against their will and increase funding for places that are tough on urban camping. At the same time, the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development is considering cuts to Section 8 housing assistance that low-income renters rely on. But the city and Heading Home agree that it's up to Bloomington to guide its neighbors toward a more service-based approach.
If you're from Bedford, there is a men's shelter, but it's only open part of the year, right? So one of the things that Heading Home is trying to do is to work with other communities in our region to improve the resources they have available in their community.
In June, Thomson invited mayors from other cities across Indiana to come up with a regional strategy.
Everybody can kind of help everybody help the people in their own communities so that they're not having to travel from one community to another to try to get resources.
Cities and nonprofits are used to doing more with less when it comes to homelessness, but there's a silver lining for Bloomington. With a $7.3 million grant from Lilly Endowment in January, the Community Foundation of Bloomington and Monroe County is helping groups expand services for unsheltered homeless. Despite setbacks, Morgan and Thomson say they're optimistic.
In 2025, many of us think that this is an intractable problem that is never going to go away. We can and we will get to virtual zero homelessness.
I think that we're going to see a decrease in unsheltered homelessness, and I think we're just going to see a community that really wraps its arms around this problem.
Heading Home is developing updates to last year's Housing Action Plan, and the mayor's office has more meetings scheduled this month with staff from other Indiana towns. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Ethan Sandwise.
Thomson says the city values Heading Home as a partner and will continue to work with it despite their disagreements.